has slowed down a bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so Pledge of Allegiance, please feel free to mute yourself if you would like, or you can join along as you would like. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so before we do the invocation today, I've got a little bit of an update for everybody. I've heard from quite a few members how much they like the motivational phrases that the Redmond Washington Club does in lieu of an invocation. So going forward, we are going to incorporate that into our weekly agenda, but with a little bit of a twist. So during this time slot, you now have the opportunity to volunteer to either give an invocation or recite a motivational phrase of your choice. So we're going to do one person per week, and the guidelines for that are as follows. So motivational phrases should be just that. They should be motivational, they should be positive, helpful, inspiring, kind, and I shouldn't have to say this, but you all know what happens when we assume non-political. So this is a perfect example of why we do inter-club visits, so we can see what other clubs are doing and we can adopt the things that we like as our own. So that being said, who would like to start us off today? I will call on somebody if I don't get a volunteer. All right, so I guess I'll start us off. Okay, so our motivational phrase for today is, I've got direction is more important than speed. Okay, so next up, we're going to introduce our guests. So we've got our Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Steve Emhoff. Hello, welcome.
Hi there.
We've got former Lieutenant Governor Earl Schroeder.
Hello, y'all.
And then we've got our guest speaker today, which is Mr. Jeff Casserly with the Redmond's Flag City USA program. He's going to give us an update on that. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good there. So announcements. Who has an announcement for me? Don't all raise your hands at once. Michelle.
Hi, guys. So as you know, the foundation, Redmond Foundation, gave us an amazing gift to Rimrock Trails. And I would like to highlight that gift in the Rimrock Trails newsletter, but I would like to get a picture with the club. Now that's very difficult to do under our circumstances, but I was thinking maybe on Friday at 10 a.m. we could, whoever's available, and I would love to see a show of hands, if we could meet at the Redmond Rimrock Trails Counseling Center, so that just so we have a common ground to meet at, and just do a quick check presentation, because I just love to have a picture of the Kiwanis on that newsletter for all the support that you're giving to Rimrock. Is that a possibility? Is anybody available on Friday around 10 a.m.? Mike is. Mike, Earl, Rachel. Oh, good. Oh my goodness.
I'm looking. I'm not sure I can. Let me take a look.
Okay, so I have Earl, I have Mike, Earl, Roland. Did I see your hand, bud? Yes, and Dan. Yeah. Are you there? Okay. Anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody, and possibly Rachel.
I'm gonna have to be a no. I'm sorry.
Okay. Nope, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just so thankful, guys. And I just really want to give a shout out to Kiwanis and some exposure around that wonderful donation. Oh, I see Josh. Yay, Josh. And John Duff, do we have can you hear me, John? He's muted. John, does Kiwanis have a blank check, or do I need to bring the Rimrock Trails check?
We used to have a check. I'd have no idea where it's at.
It's probably in the box car, huh?
Maybe bring a Rimrock if you have that handy. I don't know where that is.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to have our executive director, if you haven't met her, Erica Fuller-Hewitt, they're available there too. And I wouldn't think it would take more than 10 to 15 minutes, but I really appreciate you guys all coming out. And I'll send a reminder email to the people who raised their hands.
So you remind us where to meet?
Yes. Now that I'm saying that, I'm like, what is the address? It's I will send it in the email. It's off Highway 126, just past the Chevron in that little that little strip building right there. But I'll send the address in the email.
Okay.
Hey guys, thank you.
Right past Trinity Bikes, Roland, on the right there on the north side of Highway 97.
Like between and Trinity Bikes. Yeah. But again, I'll send out that address in the email. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Helps if I unmute. Thank you, Michelle. Roland, did I see your hand also?
Well, this is not an announcement because we have Steve Emhoff and Earl Schroeder with us. They were part of the putting together of the Cascadia Interclub, which had the International Kiwanis president. And if it's okay, I'd like one of them to spend just a minute what it took to put that together, because I think it was an incredible result.
Go ahead, Steve.
I can speak to that. Thanks. Cascadia in itself has been around for about 10 years, and most of the members are either current or past lieutenant governors and governors. Art Riley, who is the current international president, was at one point in time, not too long ago, our district counselor. Every international trustee is given 2 or 3 districts to be the counselor. And so we got to know Art really well. He came to our district convention, and it was actually Jackie Sue McFarland, who is a past governor, but our current president, reached out to Art to see if he would be our program, and he happily said yes. And that's why we had Art as our program this past Monday night.
Yeah, I was impressed with his articulation, his practical suggestions. He seemed to have a good head on his shoulders.
He is a very nice man, very good, well-spoken. He is by trade a pharmacist.
Thank you.
How many people attended the meeting, Steve?
I believe we had 45 at the most.
So on that note, one of my announcements is that Division 78 is in search of someone to fill the lieutenant governor position for when Steve steps down. So if anybody is interested, please let me or Steve know. And from what I understand, no prior experience is needed. Is that right?
That is correct. And you don't even have to have been a club president to be lieutenant governor. It's a fun job.
All right. So if there's any interest there, please let one of us know. Does anybody else have an announcement? Because I've got more. I can keep going. All right, Carl.
The scholarship committee has been working diligently. We had 33 applications from seniors in all 4 of the area high schools. We've narrowed that down to 12 finalists, and we'll be interviewing them on April 27 at Redmond High School.
All right. Mr. Earl Fisher.
The elections here locally are coming up soon in the month of May. If you would like to be on that roster, please let me know, or Roland, or anybody else on the committee. John would be somebody you could let know, and then we would be glad to put your name down and be on the list. We'll forward that list to the president in the next 2 weeks.
All right, so birthdays this week. I want to recognize April 4th was Bull Durden. I hope I said that right. April 6th, yesterday, was Chuck Meyer, and upcoming on the 10th is Dave Kimmel. So if you see any of them, make sure you wish them a happy birthday. Does anybody else have an announcement? I don't see any hands. Okay. All right, so just a reminder, make sure you're checking out the calendar of events section of our newsletter so you can stay up to date on anything that's upcoming, so events or service opportunities. Also, just a reminder, please be sure to fill out the diversity and inclusion survey that was sent out via email by Kiwanis International. They're looking for feedback regarding your experience within the club. And if you didn't get a survey, please check with Carl to verify whether your email address is current or if it needs to be updated. And then same thing with the DCON 2021 survey. So the district convention, they're looking for feedback regarding your preference for whether you would like a virtual or in-person experience this year if there were to be an option. So that's all I have for announcements. So if there's nobody else, okay. John Duff.
One quick announcement. Peter Ribble's wife, Deborah, emailed me, said that there's going to be a memorial service on June 5th at 1 o'clock at Sam Johnson Park. It's going to be a pretty big deal. Fire engines and all kinds of stuff going on there. I think she's rented the whole park. So there'll be more to come, more information. It'll bring your own chair and your mask kind of thing, but we'll have some announcements as we get closer to it, but I just wanted to get that on your calendar. Again, it's June 5th at 1 o'clock at Sam Johnson Park.
Got it. Thank you, John. All right, so happy dollars. Who is happy today? Earl Fisher.
I've got $2. I'm happy that I was able to go down and see my kids for Easter in California. And I'm happy that yesterday I was able to get out and play golf.
Mike.
Well, since I wasn't here last week, I was in Roatan, Honduras. I logged in early to the meeting, but the Wi-Fi wasn't going to support it, so I bailed early. I've got 10 happy dollars for the Oregon State men's basketball team making the Elite Eight, and then also for our dive trip to Honduras. It was fantastic to be able to get away and travel again. We had some great dives and great weather.
Well, I'll put up 5 happy dollars. Got my husband and I on the list to get scheduled for our COVID vaccinations. So we haven't received the message yet saying you can schedule, but we're on the waiting list.
That's your penance for being young.
Yeah. Yes.
I was going to say, I'll follow that lead. I will throw in 13 happy dollars to make it an even 20 that I owe. And for my past absences during, I don't know, the last few months when I had another work conflict scheduled. So happy that I am scheduled to get a vaccine tomorrow, the first round. As you know, I have an autoimmune condition, so that put me up on the list as a young person. But so I'm excited for that. And then also happy to be back with you guys, back attending. So it's great to see your face. And I'm still eating, so I'm going to take myself off camera.
Dan Tippy, I've seen your hand.
So I got a happy $5. We had a wonderful Easter weekend with our children and granddaughter in Seattle. It was beautiful sunny weather in Seattle, which is an extra plus. I'm very happy that tomorrow I will get my second COVID vaccination. Looking forward to that. And I'm happy for the sunshine.
Oh, John, I'll put in another 5. We're actually here at work. We're actually unlocking our doors from 1 to 5 for the first time since we shut down for COVID. So we are super excited to be able to let people just walk in. I know other financial institutions have been open for a while now. Ours was a little bit more conservative. They were worried about the risk, not health-wise, but security-wise. So I'm just happy that they've agreed to let us unlock the doors again and people can actually walk in and say hello. So. John Duff. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. First, I would like to nominate Mike Patrick for Lieutenant Governor. I think he'd do a phenomenal job, and he would do really well promoting Kiwanis, and I'm sure he could find some orange to throw on that red coat. So,
And he could accumulate a lot of miles on his bicycle too.
yes, he could. Yes, he could. So, second, Danny, how high school football's going. Redmond won last Saturday. The varsity beat LaSalle. They are now in the driver's seat to win the conference. If we win Friday, they are Intermountain Conference champions. So happy about that. Danny's team the JV team played their final game on Monday. They did lose their first game of the season to Mountain View, but it was a really good game. Mountain View is another level up. They had about 45 kids on their team, and but played really hard. I think we ended up losing by 2 touchdowns at the end, but it was good. Secondly, I'm really happy. We've been really trying to push for a graduation for our seniors that really does a good job of trying to honor them and the sacrifices they've made this year. And the school emailed out last week that they're going to do an outdoor graduation at Redmond High School Stadium for the seniors, which I think is a great send-off. Really happy about that. It'll be under the lights. It's supposed to be like at 7:00 at night, but it's going to be it's better than doing a drive-through, and in my opinion, doing it at the fairgrounds where every other high school does it. So it's going to be unique to Redmond, which I'm really thrilled about. The last thing is I'm happy for Olivia. She is in California right now. She only has 2 classes of anything to do. Of any that matter at all right now, but she can do those remotely, and so she's on California spring break down in Palm Springs, so having fun. I'll give that $5.
Okay. Anybody else before we move on? All right, I don't see any hands. So, Jeff, the floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Hello, Kiwanians. Always good to see Kiwanians. The other better half in Redmond, aside from, did I say Rotary? But we're talking flag committee today and Flag City USA. And I'll preface this a bit. I might have a weak signal going here. I notice I'm spotting in and out. So if you don't see me, if I disappear, raise your hand and I'll try and come back. You're all familiar with the Flag City USA project. It's been going now since about 1991. It was initiated after Desert Storm to honor the troops coming back, and Rain Life and a group of other individuals were involved, including Kiwanis and Rotary and the local veterans groups. Anyway, it started out, they borrowed 200 flags. They put them up to welcome the troops back from Desert Storm. The public liked the idea and it grew from there. Today we're about 1,800 flags. And when you look at those flags on the boulevard, they all have a name, someone who's being honored on the hem. We have 8 trailers now. Used to be that we had one big trailer and a mob that followed it down the boulevard. Some of you might remember that. But we now have 8 trailers. We put around 225, 230 flags or so in each trailer. The community stays involved. We have different groups that are supporting it every time it goes out. We typically will do the Memorial Day, Flag Day, which is June 14th. Kiwanis does that, by the way. 4th of July, Chamber of Commerce does, Labor Day, Rotary, and the Redmond High School and Ridgeview High School football teams help on that. Patriot Day, which is September 11th, and that's our first responders, fire and police. And then Veterans Day, and that's the Moose Lodge and the Marine Corps Reserve Officer Training Church, and the Boy Scouts do that one. So the community gets involved in a lot of different ways in this one. All the flags, it used to be that we just put them out. We had no idea where they were. In 2017, we elected to inventory all the flags, identify routes that they would be on, and then ban them. So if you're going down the boulevard, look for, number one, if you see a little white patch on the curb, that's where a flag will be placed. And if you look at the bottom of the flag, there'll be a red tag on it, or green, or blue, or black. Each one of those goes into a specific trailer, and that trailer is specifically for that route. Now, since we did our inventory, we have placed that inventory and those routes. You can actually see those routes if you go to the Flag City USA website, which is flagcityusa.us. And you can look for a loved one that's memorialized on a flag and find that route. I can't tell you exactly where among the 1,800 plus flags that it is, but I can narrow it down to around 200 plus or minus. So it gives you a reason to take a walk on Memorial Day, to pull up a hymn and take a look and say, oh, are located. We've been building that inventory. Dave Shirley's our webmaster for the website, and we're trying to tweak it a little bit more. I was brought on at the last meeting in 2000, spring meeting 2020. They were looking for someone to take over the director position because Randy is getting tired after 30 years of doing this. And I didn't raise my hand, but 10 others did, and I ended up becoming the director. So it's in my lap to make sure that things work a little bit more smoothly. One of the biggest complaints we have is, I ordered a flag 3 months ago. Where is it? I'm looking for my uncle or my aunt or my mom or my dad. Where are they? And so to explain a couple of those, because some of you may have questions on that. We had a delay as a result of the COVID. We were backed up almost 50 flags. All those flags that you see out there have all flown over the White House, and they've all come back down. And we've then sent them to our personal touch, where the names are embroidered on the hymns. And then they come back, they're mounted on a pole. From that point, they go into, they're placed for the first year in Centennial Park. So if they're in Centennial Park, they'll have a white band on the base of the flagpole. You'll see them there. After the first year, they're rerouted, they're re-inventoried, and they're placed on another route. And the forthcoming flags, the new flags, will replace them. Another thing is that was established a couple of years back is the Legacy Flag Program. And we started out with one. It's a $500 charge. It's a lifetime commitment to replace that flag when it gets worn out. A lot of the flags you see out there right now are 20, 25 years old, and they're pretty darn tattered. So some folks were wondering, how can I guarantee that 30 years from now, that flag's still gonna look fresh? They go on a steel pole, powder-coated steel pole. There is gold stars at the top and the bottom. They are a different type of presentation as far as the flag goes. And all those legacy flags will go in front of City Hall. We now have 5 of those, and I believe there's another one that's being ordered. And I know that there are 3 that have been wondering where their legacy flags were. We had 35 flags appear just 2 weeks ago that were months overdue. So they're being embroidered now. And I anticipate that by Memorial Day, those flags will be complete. They'll be mounted, and our town should be around 1,850 plus flags on the boulevard. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes in the Flag City USA project. We've updated our website. We've improved the inventory. We'll be doing another inventory on lost flags, if you will. On Memorial Day, when they first go out, there'll be a team going out and checking flag hems for names. So we're doing as much as we can to bring this as current as possible and make it as easily accessible for the public by going to that website. So that part of the process. I mentioned we have 8 trailers. Some of those trailers were donated. Some of them were the funds were donated. I know Rotary bought one. I know some of the folks from Kiwanis kicked in and were involved in buying. But those 8 flags made a huge difference. Many of you have been involved in placing flags. And, you know, that's a simple process. We meet at West Schwab on the morning of the flags go out, usually around 6 o'clock in the morning. Some days, like 4th of July, we go out at, I believe it's 8 o'clock. Let's see, because it tends to, well, 6 o'clock, but we bring it in at 4 o'clock because maybe they've had one too many beer and we don't want the kids or the people on the streets after 4 o'clock. It might be a little bit dangerous. So we're real cautious about the folks who put the flags out. What else can I tell you about that? Now, a couple of things that will take place. The first of the year, we always have our annual spring meeting. That's coming up here actually tomorrow at 5:30 at the Redmond VFW post. We'll be covering stuff that I'm talking about today, and also planning for the 2021-2022 year. If you picked up this week's roundup, on the first page inside, there's a story about the invitation to the Flag City USA meeting. So we want the public involved in this. This is a project. It's not just service clubs. Service clubs kind of take the lead in making sure that the flags go out as far as drivers and support. But we want the public involved in this because it is a community event. So we bill ourselves Flag City USA. Back around 1984, Representative Walden read Flag City USA into the congressional record. There is another community that calls itself Flag City USA back in Iowa. Good for them. We like it. We put out the largest display in the United States by far. Many communities.
Flags. Was it
worth it? Say it again. I'm sorry. I missed you.
Is it Rachel? Because she's muted.
Okay, I can hear you now. There was a question?
It sounded like John Duff.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that, please? I got a bad vibe. Ugh, I hate this thing. I'm not, I don't know if you're hearing me or not.
Yes.
You are, okay, all right. So, all right, well, I'll continue on. If you can't hear me, do one of these things, okay? Because bad signal here. So this, on May 1st, we'll have a flagpole cleanout day. We do that every year, the first Saturday in May. And with the Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Cadet Training Program, they help us with 1,800 flag holes in the ground in Redmond, it's always a mess. You'll find pop bottles, you'll find golf balls, you'll find all kinds of goo in there. But they have to be cleaned out so we can get the flags in. So that's an event that takes place. Also, that day, we'll go out, and if we're planning for an additional 50 flags for the year, we'll actually drill an additional 50 holes in the concrete. And we're expanding our routes this time.
You froze.
What's that?
Well, you froze for a minute. You're okay now.
Okay, good. All right. Anyway, so we're expanding the routes, and so new holes have to be drilled every year. So we'll be doing that also. We have challenges sometimes with our trailers. 8 trailers. Sometimes we'll be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll be cold, it'll be dark, and you'll have a flat. So this year we're incorporating an actual specific crew for maintenance on the trailers. So there's always something to go on as far as the equipment, as far as when you mount up 50 flags, somebody's got to drill those holes and set those flags, roll them up, and put them back into the trailers and mark them correctly. So there's, like I said, there's always something going on there. Now, I'll jump around. Some people want to know, how can I order a flag? Chamber of Commerce, they keep applications. On our website, there's an application there also. At one time, it was $45 to order a flag. The cost of the flags went up. It's $55 now. And if you want another name put on the flag, you add $5 more to it. It's that simple. What else are we doing here? Thanks, Dave. Yeah, there's your order form. Do you have the updated price on it, Dave?
How much was it again?
I think it's $55 now. We had an upgrade in October. We were told it went up to like $10.
I have to get my glasses on here.
Oh, okay. So, well, you're the website guy, right? So while you're doing that, this is the 30th anniversary of Flag City, the Flag City project, and we're planning a party. In conjunction.
Can't find a price.
Okay, it's on the other side. By a flag on that side there. Yeah, this one actually says 45 on it, but it's changed. We'll be at the annual meeting. So, and regarding the annual meeting, I mentioned the 30-year anniversary party. That's going to be August 21st. There's the Cascade Classic Car Show that the city's putting on, and we're down in Centennial Park. If you remember the car show, we haven't done one for a couple of years, but Pablo from Madeline's used to sponsor it for a number of years, and he bailed out of it a couple of years back. The community is calling for it again, so it seemed like a natural to do the car show because everybody loves cars and motorcycles and walk around town, and the Flag City anniversary party could do the same thing in Centennial Park. We'll have some pop-ups, we'll have some information on the Flag City project, maybe drum up a little additional support for the community for the project. What else should you know here? We'd like involvement. Community.
Froze again.
Pardon me?
You froze again.
I did.
You're okay now.
Okay. I know that I saw Hannah here a minute ago, and I've seen her a number of times helping put out flags. So if you'd like to help with that, please do, and bring the family because it is a family event. So. If you don't have any, the Flag City decals, if you've seen them on the back of people's cars, they're available. Contact me. I'm real easy to get hold of here, jeff@ycob.net. And or go to our website, and they're available there. I think they cost me about $1.75 each to have them made. I gave a lot of them away along the way, but I sure would like to see more of these on the local populous cars. So let them know that you're proud to be part of Flag City USA. I don't know, I suppose questions, if you have some questions for me about the Flag City USA project, it might be a good idea. You're all muted.
Jeff, quick question.
Yes, please.
Did you say that the 30-year celebration is going to be on August 24th?
21st.
21st. Okay.
Yeah.
Earl. My understanding is that May 1st, we're going to clean the holes out for the flags.
Yes, it's fun. Yeah, that's correct. We'll meet at Les Schwab at 8 o'clock.
And that's always an enjoyable experience, particularly watching the kids run around the street.
Oh, you've been there. Well, if you've never watched it, we have one of those big commercial compressors you pull behind a car or truck, and a big wand and a snorkel with looks like a cone, a delineator cone taped to the top of it. And with an air nozzle, and you put it down in a hole, you'll squeeze the lever, and it'll blow all that crud right out of the hole. And then they'll blow all that stuff into the street. But sometimes it gets a little messy. Sometimes the kids end up splattered, and even adults sometimes get the bath. So, and after 2 years of no cleaning on those holes, I'm thinking it's going to be it'll be kind of a dirty day, but it's a lot of fun at the end of the day. The kids just have a great time. So, brings them into the community, social involvement, engagement, and it's better than Zoom.
Is that something, Earl Fisher, is that something our key clubbers usually help with?
A lot of times there'll be a couple of key clubbers, and we've been able to get a couple of kids from ROTC. So we'll have to see what I can do at rounding up some key clubbers.
Yeah, we've had your key clubbers out there before.
Hey, Jeff.
We know too. John and I know too. Clubbers.
Jeff, if a flag is retired just because of wear and tear, do you notify the owner of that flag, give them the opportunity to replace it?
Actually, that's one of the things we've been doing. We had not inventoried the flags ever until 2017. And at that time, we elected to remove about 15 to 20 of them from service because they were just too funky. If they just need to be cleaned, they go over to Greg at Ford Cleaners, and he'll actually clean the flags for us at no charge. But if they need to be repaired, we've sent them in for repair before, but there's a point where they're just not salvageable anymore. One of the things we're trying to do is bring the records back for all those flag named honorees, if you will, those who purchased them, and let them know that when we remove a flag, that a flag is down, would you like to replace it? But that's part of our conversation actually tomorrow at our Flag City meeting, because some of them, the last time we inventoried, some of them were on their last legs. We cleaned them, we put them back out. But some of them this year when we inventory, I'm sure we're probably going to pull another 20 to 30 from the mix, because they're no longer, well, there's a standard flag protocol, and that is maintaining the condition of the flags. So anyway, It's overdue in some cases.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us. We've always appreciated when you've come down, and it's a great project. So thank you very much.
Oh, well, thanks for allowing me here. I'd like to see you help out. And if you'd like to be involved or attend the meeting, be there. And then don't forget, 30th anniversary, August 21st. So good luck, Kiwanis. We like you.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you being here. All right, everybody. I know it's your favorite part of the day. I've got your joke today, but actually this one's not a joke. Today is National No Housework Day. So go enjoy. Don't do any housework. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.